Hello everybody, Cedric and Cedric here for CR Wrestling Commentary, and today, as you can tell by the title, we'll be giving our thoughts on Scott Hall's status. His current health is not so well. Cedric has all the details. For me, I saw this, and even though I unsubscribed from him and whatnot, even on the main page of YouTube on Hannibal's show, it wrote Scott Hall is on life support, and I'm like, I didn't listen to it because I'm not going to give him my view. And then I told Cedra about it, and then Cedra got further news and further information, and even though the information is up, it's better to hear all the things, bells and whistles that Cedra found out more so than that. She might be missing some things because updates come in so fast, but I've got my issues about this. And anyway, go. I'm gonna give it to Cedra. She can take over now.
So they're not going to tell you everything. You know, they're not going to say, "Here's the doctor report. There you go." That's not how they're going to do it. Information I have came from Nash, who posted it on Instagram. So I think there's some additional information here, but here's what I know. Scott Hall fell and broke his hip. He had to have surgery. Something happened during surgery. He ended up having 3 heart attacks. Now he's on life support. He already had cardiac issues. He already had a pacemaker in. So Nash said that once all his family arrives, they're going to take him off life support. So, as I just said, they don't put all the intricacies of what happened because of the 3 heart attacks. You know, that is severe. Blood cut off the brain. We don't know if he's brain dead. There's no point leaving him lingering if he is. But that's all I got.
Life support, people on life support, the most prolific, profound, and most nationally noticeable controversy upon life support issues was Terry Schiavo. Terry Schiavo was pronounced brain dead, nobody there, nobody home, life support for a very long time. But then certain family members noticed that when they spoke to Schiavo, that there were physical responses. When someone has a physical response to a sound or something, then that means there is something there. And Terry Schiavo was showing signs of some form, no matter how small, cognition. The controversy was that not the family wanted to, but the state was like, pull the plug, kill all of that. And a couple of family members were in agreement because they didn't want to see any suffering. But you know, the argument is this is a country of hope. A country, we got the money, we got the means, let's get it done. But the hospital did not hide that it cost a lot to keep Terry Schiavo alive. So it would save the hospital a lot of money to just let Terry Schiavo go. And that was an uproar that nobody would do anything about. And it was a national, people were angry. They were angry. The nation was angry, but no one in the nation did anything except those in power. And what they did was not necessarily cast a bill per se, but what they did was everyone that would be on life support soon after, they gave them a much shorter time to be on life support. You have to have this amount of days of showing no signs, and then whoop, we can pull the plug. It's our choice. Some states say that, it's up to the families if the plug will be pulled. What is in their will? Do they want to survive? Do they want to be resuscitated? So all of this come into play.
That's true. I hadn't considered that. He could have a DNR in place.
So we had a friend. His name was Logie Meacham. And he was on life support. Don't know much if there was any form of cognition. They said if he come out of it, he might not even be the same. He might not act the same or know anything. But that's an admission that he can come out of it. But they didn't keep him on life support. They didn't. It wasn't long either. Was not long. My father, when he was on life support just last year, he was like, he had quite a few strokes and heart attacks beforehand, way beforehand. Since I was in high school, he went some years, some decades, and still he was like, don't resuscitate. Was I there? No, my mom was. I wasn't there. Don't resuscitate. And so when he finally, his heart gives out or whatnot is happening, let it go.
So you couldn't have been there.
No, I couldn't. It's impossible. I don't know if I would have wanted to be there anyway. Not the most positive history. So Scott Hall, going on how he spoke and stuff, it's a mixed bag. Would he want to be on life support until he can be revived, or just say, hey, just pull the plug? Who knows? It's the way he, you can't really tell. But my issues are also the fact that hip broken, goes to the hospital, surgery, heart attacks. It's almost like, oh, we messed up. Can't have him live. Bye-bye. That's what it almost sounds like. And
I would be in agreement with you if he didn't have such extensive cardiac
history. He
history.
had a serious history of some drugs, lots of booze, wild life. But still, even though you have to sign a waiver now for a hospital, so they have to cover their ass, still, there should be some accountability. If somebody is predominantly all right, but they break their hip, I don't know what it is about a broken hip, but it causes a catastrophic amount of damage afterwards.
When you're old.
This has happened to people in their 30s, in their prime. I don't get it. I don't get it. What is it about the hip that's like, hey, this is it?
You get a certain age, you can't be doing any falling.
Yeah. So that's all we know. Kevin Nash is putting things out. And I feel mostly, I'm going to tell you who I really feel bad for, even though this saddens me. I feel bad for Nash. I feel bad for Cody Hall, his son, and any other children he has. Anyone that's close to him. Anyone. I don't care if Scott Hall was a complete mental despot of a person to some. There are people that did love him. So my heart goes out to them. And I wanted to do, probably about 4 months ago, fandom memory on Scott Hall, and then one on Kevin Nash, and then one on The Outsiders. But when it comes to my fandom memories, I think people, they'll respond to them, they'll listen to them, but I don't get any requests. So people expect me to do Fire Pro and Road and Pain and Agony Wrestling, Nobody really puts out there, they want to hear from me. So I don't have a major audience. I don't. My numbers go up little by little. But I also I wouldn't mind an audience. People saying, multiple comments. That's why I deeply appreciate those that do. So I'm sure Scott Hall is like, you know what? I might not have had maybe the most epic quality of certain people in my life at junctures, but nonetheless, there were people in my lives at those junctures, for the few that this would retain to. And so Scott Hall has touched people's lives one way or another, negative or positively. He has been a very, very strong force and influencer. And I mean a heavy influencer for a while. And I'm not going to remember Scott Hall for being part of the curtain call and exposing the business, and that's, and being a jerk to others. I'm going to remember him for what I saw as a wrestler. As I saw him wrestle, as a fan of professional wrestling, that's what I'd rather remember him by. And that's literally my default. That's just what I go to. What I've seen as a wrestler, how he has influenced and captivated me. That's what I'm going to go on. Because that's just my nature. So, in time, I will do my fandom memories. Because I'm tired of doing them when all that's left is a memory. So Cedra's gone back to work. So this has been for Cedra Owens. This is Cedric Kennedy for CR Wrestling Commentary. My thoughts, her thoughts, and our thoughts on Scott Hall's status. Share yours with us. We'd like to hear about it. Until next time, take care. Really, take care.